So I started season 1 of Haikyuu, also known as that volleyball anime, around 8 days ago, and now have completed all 3 seasons, and let me tell you, it was great. I haven't enjoyed and wanted to watch episode after episode like this since when I first got into anime and finished Death Note in like 2 days. Along with that, I was someone who didn't watch sport anime apart from the legend Keijo, who is still the #1 sports anime of all time. However, Haikyuu can be a close second. It's also good to note season 4 is confirmed for early 2020 for the winter season. So that's going to be lit. If you're a fan of Haikyuu, I hope you enjoy, and if you're not, hope you become one after watching this video. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's begin. The manga was created by Harufuchi Fudete for Weekly Shonen Jump in 2012, with it breaking the top 10 manga sold in 2019, with 300 press chapters released at the recording of this video. The anime series started airing in 2014 with Production IG as its studio, same for the following 2 seasons, and confirmed for season 4. There is also a total of 4 recap movies for the 3 seasons currently released, but you don't need to watch them really, they're just recap movies. And the first 2 seasons have now made its way onto Netflix in both dub and sub, so no excuses in not watching this greatness. The story mainly consists of a smaller character known as Hinata, who's the protagonist, who in the game of volleyball uses his jumping skill and superior speed to make up for his lack of height, as volleyball is a sport that's really bases on people's height and how well they can perform based on height. And he has been inspired since a young age from a top volleyball player known as the Little Giant, who was short like him but was able to compete and become one of the best players, and he is wanting to be the second Little Giant. The whole story premises is a lot of tournament arcs. It's based in high school like most sport anime, but it's a tournament arc where his high school is trying to make it to the nationals, and to do that they need to overcome all the schools in their region and then schools in other regions as well to be able to access the nationals. And we just see the team bonding together closer, create new skills, and lose volleyball games. I don't win any volleyball games. There's training arcs in between, but the main basis of the story is to win those matches. If they lose, it's normally a training arc for a bit. If they win, goes on to the next one, a little bit training in between. And their whole aim is to make it to the nationals for their third years have to leave high school, and before the first years, which is our main character and some other ones, have to change team or work on creating a new team. It is an anime about volleyball, but like me, I didn't really have any knowledge of volleyball. I knew the roles for most parts of it, but I didn't really understand or have knowledge of the rules. I had played it before in school, but I wasn't really fully adapted to every rule and thing. And that didn't really matter for this. You don't even really need to be into volleyball in any way to enjoy Haikyuu. The story is very engaging. While you're watching, it feels like you're part of the team and you want the team to succeed, and you feel the fear that the team faces when they're going up against a strong opponent, similar to how the characters act, and that's how the story becomes very engaging. A lot of people rate the story as top tier. It's in the top, all 3 seasons are in the top 30 on my anime list for the highest rated anime of all time. The manga is in the top 20 of all time as well. As I said earlier, it was in the top 10 selling manga of 2019, which is greatness. The animation's well done, which really adds to the story. And moving on. The characters are a real highlight for the overall aspect of Haikyuu. Each character goes through immense character development in-game and out-of-game throughout the 3 seasons. Each character has gone through complete changes on their view of life, view of the game, their personality, everything, which is really good. They spend a lot of time in the game developing each character, and there's not really a focus on one character, such as other shonen anime where they tend to focus on the protagonist. All the characters get shine and time to develop and shine and have their moment, which is great, especially in season 3 with a character that like not many people liked, had a big change throughout a volleyball game, which stay tuned for that if you're going to watch this greatness, that is. The characters are all relatable. You'll be able to relate to, if not one or two characters throughout. Most of the supporting cast, which aren't on the main team, they're alright. There's only a few characters that are really memorable. That's pretty much the main threats of most teams, but there is a full team that's pretty memorable, which is one of their training buddies in a different district that they're probably going to face if they make it to the finals. You're going to have to watch and find out. And yeah, overall the characters are very good. The protagonist is pretty typical shonen protagonist, works harder than most people to make up for his lack of skill / talents. There's that. All the other characters not very unique, or they are unique in some ways, but not fully out of there, never seen before. You've probably mostly seen most of the characters you've seen in quite a bit of anime. The anime also features a lot of comedy, about 30% comedy I'll say. Even throughout intense volleyball games, they sprinkle in some comedy where some character stuffs up, they all gang up on him, and it's just very entertaining. I did laugh a few times while watching it, especially with my man here. This guy, all his scenes that have comedy aspects here, this top tier greatness. All the characters have their own quirky little comedic moments, which is very interesting. Even the rivals they go up against have their own comedy moments and like goofy attitude towards stuff. That's all interesting. They kind of overdo it sometimes where they like, feels like it's forced, but it doesn't really annoy me that much. It may annoy other people a lot, but many people that I've talked to enjoy the comedy aspect of Haikyuu, so that's good. The animation and art is pretty solid. They do this thing where it's going to be an intense hit or intense moment where they change the art style up to more of a sketch look. I'll show some clips up here while talking about it, but sometimes they mix it up like that. The animation's pretty fluid, pretty stable. When they're not playing or in an intense volleyball game, the animation's nothing to fault at, can't see anything wrong with it. And then when they want to go extreme, they can go extreme. That's all pretty good. Throughout the season, it starts off, the first season came out in 2014, so you can see it's not going to be as good as stuff released in 2019, but still, I don't see any faults with it. Animation only gets better season after season, so stay fault for that. There is a change in art style and probably animation quality going way up for the 2020 release, based on the previews and character models changing slightly. So be hyped for that if you're a fan of Haikyuu. The overall soundtrack of the anime is pretty solid. From openings, all the openings are pretty cool, with like Fly High, I believe the 4th opening being one of the top openings in all of anime, considered by many. I'm not gonna lie about this, I watched it on Netflix, or I watched the first 2 seasons on Netflix, and you know, Netflix has that nice and easy skip recap, skip intro option. So like, I might have clicked that a few times, so yeah. But I have to say, all the openings are pretty good. If you want to listen to the openings, nothing wrong with that, they're pretty solid. The endings are pretty good, except for the 3rd season ending. I didn't like that, that was just pretty annoying, that one. And then the soundtracks throughout the whole basis of the story, pretty intense. When they want to make an intense soundtrack, it's intense. They can create chilling moments sometimes. They did create chilling moments sometimes, which is very interesting. Didn't think I would get the chills watching a volleyball anime, but I guess I did. In summary, Haikyuu, the volleyball anime, was an anime that I didn't think I would like because, like I said at the start of the video, it's a sports anime. But I enjoyed it. I rated the first 2 seasons 8 out of 10s and the 3rd season a 9 out of 10. And that just shows it's starting off at a pretty high level of greatness and it's just getting better from there. The start, I have to say, is kinda slow. It has some picking up moments, but it's more getting the team to connect and understand how they're going to play games. Training arcs can be interesting, which I was shocked about. I normally not really like long drawn out training arcs, but these ones are pretty interesting as characters work out what they need to focus on and they do that and they develop. You see what they're thinking, how they plan to overcome obstacles and win against their matches. Like I said earlier, they don't win every match, which is interesting. or not interesting, but it's pretty much showing good story development. They don't start the anime with this team being the best in the world and they're just going to stomp every team. They lose a lot of games, they win a lot of games, and then they train really hard to outplay their losses pretty much. That's really interesting. Animation solid, story solid, characters top tier. Really enjoyed the characters, every one of them in the main team, even most of the side characters and rivals to the team. I really enjoyed all of them. If you haven't seen many sports anime, I recommend watching Haikyuu before watching Haikyuu, because you know Haikyuu is the best anime in the sports genre of all time, so you gotta check that out. And then after that you can watch Haikyuu. I plan to watch more sports anime after watching this, so if you want to recommend me some down in the comments, feel free to do so. I've heard good things about Slam Dunk and Kuroko no Basket, so I might check them out. But if you have any other ones, just let me know what you think about them compared to Haikyuu, if you've seen Haikyuu. If you haven't seen Haikyuu at this point, I hope you check it out. I hope you enjoy it. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and yep, that's it guys. Peace.
Got the juice.